Hello, everyone, and welcome. Before we start, I would like to get everyone to just take a moment and soak it in. So as we speak, thousands of people are creating content just with one click of a button. So aren't we living in exciting times and maybe also scary times where people, like everyone, can create content, even your grandma or Uncle Bob, just like that. So this is all possible due to just using AI and AI content generation. Everyone is able to create very high quality content at this moment. So this has possibilities. Everyone is either already using it as a company or is planning to use AI. So if this is so widely accessible, the question is AI free then the new premium? So this is something that we want to elaborate together with you. My name is Emma Schröder. I'm the Immersive Experience Lead at MHP. And I'm here together with my dear colleague, Robert Anderson, who's the Agentic Brand Supervisor in our company. So yeah, let's have a look.
So who has an Uncle Bob? Okay, good. So we will talk about like what's the new premium, and as Emma already said, it's like something which is probably in all of your reality, and all of you were asked like how is it possible, and I come to the moment where it was like shocking first time for me. It was like March 2023, I think 2 years ago, that Pope Francis, God bless him, that he was like put in a Balenciaga puffer jacket. And this is not the story. The interesting part, it became like a system seller for puffer jackets. So then Moncler, this is a real ad, did like AI puffer jackets. And you can totally see that now if you want to buy a puffer jacket, it's all AI generated. And this is Moncler and this is Hugo Boss. And what you can see is a real TikTok ad there. So it's not something which is like super niche or no one is used. And also even you see if you have a trained eye, you see the imperfection that it's like probably you would see that it's not a real jacket or it's not really cut or produced. So how is it possible that these are professionals, right? This is like real high fashion brands luxuries that you have like, I don't know, probably $1,500 in average for a Moncler puffer jacket, that they do this. What's their deal that they think that they can sell this to you? Even though it was like world news 2 years ago, and now it's just a fucking TikTok ad. So what goes for high fashion is the same like for fast fashion. You see that it's like sorry for all the European brands like the H&M and Mango and Gisanda, that these are not real people, and they're using the campaigns for either digital twins or just straight computer generated testimonials. And it doesn't seem to be a problem for them. You could say, if you're familiar with luxury communication, like Balenciaga or Moncler or Loewe, that when they do these kind of stuff, it's usually ironically, it's like a self-reflective thing. It's the last thing of if you're fucking rich, then you make fun about yourself, and therefore you're buying Balenciaga. But this is now like super mainstream that everyone is doing it. And the question we have to ask ourselves, why are brands becoming artificial to create human affection, right? They want to get love. They want our love. They want our tears. They want our like things that we love them, because otherwise, why should we buy their shirts? Because their shirts are not like patentable or something different. And prices are also the same. We're all produced in China or Vietnam. So what's the difference? So, and the why becomes even bigger if you know that 93% of all consumers believe they can tell what's real. And they can differentiate which face is real. And they can differentiate which dress is real and which person is real. and which background is real and which product is real. They believe that they can tell the difference. And the truth is that they can't. Only 49% can tell the difference, what is real and what is not. And it's worldwide the same number. So the 49% is like these numbers also like kind of like old Valley, December 2023 when this study was conducted. But you can see that you have like left, you have the US and you have Germany and you have China. It's almost the same level. You see a little bit of a difference that it's easier for people to differentiate audio than it is for image. It's easier for them to recognize AI-generated copy text than it is for image. You see somehow, I can tell you why, even though I'm a German, why Germans are better in detecting audio. Maybe the training data isn't that good. But it's like, it's a worldwide phenomenon that there's a gap between how confident I am and the actually capability to detect what's real or not real or unreal, puns intended. We live in a great reality recession, right? And it depends a little bit from which perspective we are looking at this. Is it something bad or is it cool? Since most of you in this room are somehow talented, gifted, creative in some way, you love it. You can create more with less. You can be more, have the option to put this into your workflow and to see when is the AI working for you and when it's not, and when it's hallucination your friend and when it's your enemy. But from like a bigger scheme, we live also in a great reality recession. Since we can't distinct anymore what's real and not real, the experience gap between like what it's like advertised to us to what's actually what we have in our pure hands is like becoming bigger and bigger. Every one of us hates advertising, and then mostly because of this effect, they are trying to sell us something which is probably not as good as they told us in the first place. And this experience becomes worse and worse if everything is like not real and everything's totally fake, like this puffer jacket from Hugo Boss. And also maybe you already perceived and someone asked you, oh, can you AI this? Because my Uncle Bob can. Can you AI this too? And probably you were dearly offended, right? You felt it. It's like, you fucking asshole, no, I can't. And you think like, this is like, okay, I respect you, Dunning-Kruger effect. You have no clue. You don't know what you're thinking, what you're doing. You don't know what my expertise is. And you feel disrespected by this question. But it's a real question. People ask themselves, oh, can you AI this? And you probably saw all the headlines with Duolingo and with Microsoft and other people who say they are AI first, and this means that they only hire new people if you can make a proof point that not an AI can do the same job. So it's kind of like has like a bad undertone if someone asks you. It's not about, oh, be more creative. It's like, dude, do it faster. Like this is like, is there an option to do this? And it is possible. I mean, so you see a simple trick. This is just Midjourney. It's like $8 a month. So each picture is probably worth like 5 cents. I just put in an ad for Converse, an ad for Crocs, an ad for Nike, and you see it's like pretty much what you would expect like 10, 20 years ago if you have a good like a photographer who can create a look which is consistent and every picture connects with the next one. You can tell a story here like with this blurry thing in motion that we having fun. It's like a very candid thing to like a moment is captured and you're part of it together with brands. But if I use the same style reference as you see here in Midjourney, I can do it for every brand. So what does it mean anymore if I can just copy it from brand to brand, and if all the knowledge of a photographer and all the looks and feel and emotion is now part of his simulation of his GenAI? And the same is also for other products. Like here, I use the same style reference for Tom Ford, Chanel, and Dior. And you see that it looks pretty gorgeous because the style references where IP adapter trained in is just like cool data, and it looks pretty good. If you look very precise, you see that on the lipstick, the Chanel is like not perfect, and it doesn't say Chanel, it's shiny. Yeah. But it's fine. It's like you can fix this later to create this look with a model, with a makeup artist. You usually in like at least one shooting day, $30,000 plus model plus X. So it's like it's definitely cheaper to do this for in 5 seconds for 5 cents. And here the same thing. And the same thing also goes that the more you create in a moment, the more you even it out. This look doesn't mean things anymore. Tom Ford looks like Louis Vuitton, likes Dior, because it's the same style reference. And this, and here I used VO3 from Gemini, which is like a really amazing model. It's like better than Sora, it's better than One or Runway. And I put in the prompt, women drives a Porsche Macan Electric in downtown. And it's a really cool thing. And it also creates the audio with it. And I don't have anything to say against it. So what's wrong about it? Maybe there's one thing wrong. And maybe if you're into like, German cars, then you notice it's not a Porsche Macan Electric. It's not the car is wrong. The fucking car is wrong. It's like what's like it's a mix of like an old Porsche Macan with like a little bit Cayenne. I don't want to bore you with like submodel the differences, but it's not the right car. It feels like a good scene. It's 8 seconds long. It took me 2 minutes to create. I didn't have to be like a superhero prompt engineer to create this, but it's the wrong car. And the reason it's pretty simple, because when this foundation model, VO3, was created, there was no Porsche Macan Electric. It wasn't in the training data. So it will be wrong until they update this data, until they update foundation model. And this is pretty scary, because until that, whenever one wants to create this ad, they will create a wrong product, and our reality recession becomes even bigger. And it's not only puffer jacket, which kind of look like the same, that this looks like a totally different car. So when you sacrifice your product accuracy, and the product accuracy of a product itself doesn't matter anymore, what matters anymore? Nothing does. I mean, then you create a lot of slop of like content, put it out in the hope that someone will swallow the engagement bait, but that's it. So you distance yourself so much from any craftsmanship which is not about like premiumness, it's just about telling the pure truth. So this is the reason why our main work, and we work at the company who's like doing a lot of stuff for automotive brands, looks still like this.
One of those big shiny things with a lot of tubes and curly coils coming out of it, with a red doohickey. Vin, he's got one of those fancy thingamajiggers.
Yeah, so let's take a closer look under the hood where all those shiny things are happening. So everything that you've seen in that video that Robert just showed us is based on the Unreal Engine pipeline and development that we've done at MHP. So everything that you've seen is real-time rendering ready. And I would like to take you on a quick journey, how everything is done, how we work at MHP, and how did we land where we're at the moment, and where are we going. Basically, I've been in this industry for about 10 years, and in the last 10 years, we've undergone like quite an evolution in that content creation. So how we actually make the content, how are we producing the images, the videos, whatever you see, has changed quite a lot. But everything that we had to focus on in the past was basically just about three things in general. It was always about the best possible visual quality that we could achieve. So how could we do that? It was all about interactivity. We wanted to kind of experience the products, interact with them, and also flexibility. Creating something like a pipeline, a platform that is flexible enough to basically be utilized for every different user or use case that we can think of. But for everything that we've done, there was always this one question that kind of drove us. When is good enough? So this is the main question that we always have to think about when creating things and when going through that evolution in content creation. So everything basically started with pre-renderings. This is something that we still do to this moment, which is creating images, taking time to create the best possible visual quality, this process is a bit slow. In general, this is always the benchmark. This was always the benchmark for visual quality. But the question is, if we talk about good, is it good enough? We have to think about, is it good enough if it takes so long to render those images, so long to render everything, the videos? If we think about a use case like a configurator, for example, where we need like content in real time, basically. So a lot of content has to be created as fast as possible. The answer would be maybe it's not good enough for that specific use case. So if we think about those use cases, we said, okay, then let's evolve in that subject. So the next step would be maybe a layered approach. So we kind of don't lose that visual quality. We create layers, all the car parts based on, or all the car parts are part of one specific layer. We have way more configuration depth, which is possible. We don't have to render every single image, which would be impossible. You can't create like a full image pre-rendered pipeline if we have to render billions of images at the same time. So this was way more flexible. We have very good quality, but still it takes long, and this is still 2D. This is just an image. So there's no interactivity. We can't do anything else with that layer stack, just create images. So what's next? WebGL. How about WebGL? Having that first time and very interactive model, we can rotate the car, we can interact with it, but we had to maybe crunch down the data because it's way too heavy to render it in the browsers. So we have now a low poly model that is not really suitable for very high luxury image creation, but we can still interact with it. We have way more configurations, so a lot of things that are possible with that. So we kind of have a trade-off, which is not really solving our issues, to be very honest. So we thought, okay, this can't be enough. This is just not good enough. We have to find something else. And then we found our holy grail, which is why we're all here, game engine technology. Unreal Engine being this holy grail that enabled us to do everything that we dreamed of, basically. So it fulfills all our needs of interactivity, very good, high visual quality. We can use just the exact same data model that you might use in design, engineering phases. So we have a very good pipeline in place that can render those high quality images, videos, interactive applications that we build, and we don't really have any trade-offs. Or do we have them? Basically, this solved a lot of things, and we were not just talking about is it possible, but rather when is it possible? When can we deploy it? When can we launch the things? But there's still the question, that's cool, but can you scale it? Like, what about those millions and billions, gazillions of images that have to be created? Is that possible? And the answer is, yes, it is. So this is what we do and what we've done for quite some time now at MHP. So what we are doing is we take product data, and as I said, we are basically taking design or engineering data, having the highest data or highest holy data model in place, and then pull this into our MHP Elastic Content Platform. This platform is basically built on top of the Unreal Engine real-time rendering pipeline, where we stage the products, we make them interactive, but then we build also all the user interfaces on top of them, UI for all the front ends, for web configurators or whatever, and also create the full system integration. So we have a full integration into backend systems, CRM, you name it. Everything is completely kind of embedded in our infrastructure at the client side. So this platform enables us to basically create all kinds of use cases that we can think of or that we maybe have not even thought of yet for all different touch points. Without having to touch the data all over again, we just create assets based on the exact same pipeline that we have built previously. So how does that look like? Some examples here. One thing which is very important for us is 3D streaming, visualizers. Why do we need that? So Robert and I, we are Europeans. In the European market, it's very common or very, very important to have hyper-personalized content. So if you're ordering a car or if you're buying a car, you basically order it based on your individual configuration. This is very important. We have to create this hyper-personalized product, but without having to go to a dealer store and seeing this in reality. So we have to create a reality-like experience online. So all the online configurators, web configurators, should look as if they were real. So we have a very high demand of content, of videos, of static images that we want to create this experience as if the product was real. So also for our customers, it's very important. We want to sell products, but also options. Upselling potential has to be there. So how do you upsell things? Only if you understand why you should have those options. Why should you configure those options? So the better we show this, the better we make this visualized, or the better we visualize it, so the more likely are people to actually buy it. Even for the US market, where it's more common to have this build-to-stock approach, we still want to visualize in the best possible way what you have in your inventory. Inventory, thank you. So the better you visualize it, the more likely are people to buy the more expensive car that you have in stock. Very important for us. But it doesn't end there. So everything that we built for this digital experience, the online configurators, we can transport to the physical stores, to showrooms, to flagship stores. In this example, we see the Aston Martin flagship store in New York, which is directly in the center of Manhattan, so not too much space there. The space is limited, so we can't really show all models there, but we still want to experience them in that flagship store. How do we do that? Aston Martin is a heritage brand. So this is all about luxury. It's about feeling, this feeling, the emotions that you create or that you have with that brand. How can we transport this? Just with high quality luxury visualization. So what we have here is we extended the physical showroom into the digital world, extended that showroom to represent the cars true to size and in the best possible kind of photorealistic way. So we kind of created that extraordinary experience to basically differentiate ourselves from the competition with those kind of flagship store experiences. But also, this doesn't end there. If we talk about very personalized experience, very personalized content, we are not the same. So Robert and I, we have different hobbies, we have different interests, no offense, but maybe we don't need the exact same content. So, but also if you think about seasonal campaigns, for example, or if you think about country market specific things, or you have huge important life events that are very specific to your country, what about those? You have to create content that is personalized and that kind of is created for those occasions. But this is a huge amount of content that has to be created. So would you do a shooting for everything? You wouldn't. That's too expensive. And also, for example, if you want to create like a coastal road shooting and it rains, what happens then? So like a bummer, I would say. So we have to make this possible through CGI. But also some things, if we talk about this kind of personalization, the experience that you have, for example, with Pagani, you can only have digitally because every single Pagani car is just built on request. So you would never see your personal configuration anywhere. So the chances are very low. So, but with Pagani, with such a high-priced product, how can you make the people to buy those products? It's only about providing this or creating this experience that you would have if you saw the product in reality. Only with that emotional bond that you have with the brand, transporting this emotional bond to the digital world as well. And this is what we've done here. We created a real shooting on the Imola racetrack and then just placed your individual configuration on the racetrack that you can just render in real time in our configurator. But as well, if you're then ordering or purchasing a car, you have to sometimes wait years for it to come. So you have created this very nice experience, this emotions. How can you keep that up, like over like a period of several years? You have to maybe provide additional content to the customers, provide this emotional experience in a digital form through giveaways, for example, through personalized content that you create just based on your individual configuration. So here you see, for example, the landing page that we've done for the Formula One campaign for Aston Martin. So we have a lot of possibilities on our platform. And again, we utilize just the exact same data that we use for any kind of other use case. But this doesn't end there. We not only have customer-facing use cases, we also have internal ones. So internal ones mean in the design and engineering process of automotive companies, usually you have to create clay models. Those clay models are very expensive. They are basically then thrown away. You can't reuse them anymore. So how can we make this process more efficient, more cost effective in the long term? We have to create a digital experience where you can just update your data as you go, as you design, as you engineer your products, visualize them on head-mounted devices or wherever you want to, and then you kind of create this benefit internally. Or in training purposes, you need expensive educational staff, you need all those facilities where you train your colleagues to either build something or repair something. Why don't you just create a guided tour where you can put on your headset and be guided through that kind of process that you would have on site as well. So as you see, quite a lot of use cases, quite a lot of things that we can create. And these are all kind of part of our platform. And these are just like a glimpse of everything that we can do. But again, if we then kind of put all of this effort in, ideally just once because of our platform, what comes next? Is that still, like, is it really good enough? again, to our question, it's only good enough if it's really creating additional value in terms of KPIs. Are we creating economical benefits for our customers? And these are just some okay numbers, I would say, for the initial launch of the Aston Martin configurator that we had. So quite drastic increases in everything, traffic on the website, returning visitors in the configurator. So I think we have achieved what we claimed in the first place. So I've talked about our platform. I've talked about the MHP Elastic Content Platform, but I haven't touched AI yet. So as you see, we went through a very big evolution in our processes, in our kind of thoughts, but we now would like to dive a bit more into detail. How can we utilize AI in our platform and maybe have a good way to integrate it without sacrificing this product correctness that Robert also talked about, and utilizing everything that we have as a benefit in our platform with that big impact that AI has on the market.
So let's talk a little bit and try to find the sweet spot. So what you see here is that what was like in the last 3 weeks was launched or at least announced by Google Gemini and also by OpenAI GPT that they are getting ready to let you shop through the chatbot, right? You love it. You couldn't wait. So now you can do it. So and this is their vision, and the numbers, the forecast was that by 2025, 95% of all customer interactions will be somehow impacted by AI. So 19 people of 20 will somehow use a chatbot, use a Gemini, use a Claude, don't know, the Germans will use Mistral or something else. So, or your DeepSeek will use it somehow to find the best solution for them, which is probably a product that fits their lifestyle and also their budget. And as this is happening, we have to think about ourselves, like, is this then still the same kind of internet we are thinking about? Emma showed us a lot of configurations with options where I have like a very precise control about what I do, but this is not doable anymore if I just am someone like a text interface and talk to an AI, and I trust this AI at least as much as I trusted a Google search before. So probably I think about everything is real. So you don't have so many options actually. If you are first party contact and you have a touch point and people come to you and using your LLM, your large language model, your chatbot, you have like a direct customer contact, then you have a little bit more options. You can either bake your own foundation model, make it better. If this is a little bit expensive, you can make like, you can fine tune it. You can put like your customer data, your product data in like the right Porsche model and put it in there. You can also maybe use a memory injections with a system prompt. You can also use like a RAG to have a retrieval augmentation. So just make this foundation model smarter to give them the information it didn't have in the moment when it was trained. So there are a lot of options, but if you are second party, if something comes through Gemini in your customer decision journey, you don't have so many options anymore. And the only options you basically have, you have to start to speak the language of the large language model itself. Right now, it's like it's the model context protocol. So you need a model context protocol server. So everything, what your resources are in there. So like all the options, everything actions and triggers are in there. And then you can help Gemini to actually understand what it doesn't know, because you give out your MCP server, and hopefully for your brand, you have authority that no one knows better about a Porsche, no one knows better about a Tom Taylor dress than your brand does. And then hopefully Gemini is smart enough, or you made the right deal, probably you have to pay a toll that you're connected to it, then make it possible that all these options are feasible and that you can see them. And how we build this, we have like a quick visualizer how this will work and could work if you start from a first party external journey through Gemini. You see, I have Model S and I'm looking for something different. And then maybe Taycan would be a nice fit for you. But then you tell Gemini, yeah, but this is not solving my problem. I have like a need. I like to go for weekends. Also, maybe I have a dog, I have a nice golden retriever. I need something a little bit more space. And then it tells you, oh, then there's a Turismo model which has like a bigger trunk, and then you just can have fun and go with it. Of course, from here on, it becomes just advertising. But of course, we are here to inspire you. And if you want to buy a car from us, we get the commission. So go for it. So you see that like from what was like a very clear, like pressing button, clicking things, years of development of good user experience becomes just like more like an empathic thing about what do you know about your customer that you can make them the right recommendation? What are the right markers of a customer that your product is the right one? Because otherwise, why should you go for this or that model at all? And if you do this, this MCP server can also be adaptive for certain market needs. What you see is that the backplate is changing a little bit. This is a really low-hanging fruits for talking about market needs. Of course, we are way more complex. People have different needs and a bit in different cultures and lifestyle. And maybe you don't want to have a supercar. This is also fine. And you have a way less fragile male soul than I am. So I really want one, but maybe you are more stable than I am. so then you can have backplate generation as much as you want to. You see, like this is our original configuration system from our car configurator for Aston Martin, but it could also look like that, or it could be like more out in the field. It could be also that you're going some places, that you like being in the street, that you can also be more urban, and you can also connect this through humans, right? We want to be part of, like, belong to someone. Brands give you a belonging to a higher community. So since we don't have real people, we can still have synthetic people. So they can look like this, and also you can then combine with product accuracy of a product, which looks like pretty cool. And if you look like that guy, I think everything is cool in your life. And also, she doesn't have to show a middle finger. She can also show a different finger if you want. And so we can also, at the end, like cater this to just aspect ratios, certain channels. If it's about TikTok and 16 to 9, it could be like more having like a hookology in there, just of just showing a product and make it interesting. So coming back to our title, is AI free, a premium thing? I would say as long as your product accuracy doesn't matter, it is. Why should you do more than AI? But as soon as you think that people want to trust your product, also you have a new product. It's not like a sneaker which was already created for generations, like an Adidas Samba, which is the same for the last 20 years. Then you have a new product, then this is not an option anymore. You have to find at least one time, generate something with accuracy, with like the creating trust, using probably Unreal as like a good technical solutions to do this. But from that on, you can build, you connect things. You can also create your MCP server with your system like we do with a platform. If not, we can help you. But you can see there are a lot of options. So It's a nuanced answer, and it's not like a hot take, but in the great reality situation we live, I think we all have to take care about what's real and to create like not more distrust and to create accuracy. And therefore, it's all up to you to fight the slop together with us. So if there's no question, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.